Hi guys, it's me, Susan. Welcome to Cruisin with Susan. It's January 1st, 2018. I haven't talked to you for a year, although I have posted a few little videos of some horses I'll tell you about in a little while. But I want to share some of the changes that have happened in the course of the year, partly to demonstrate how amazing life can be when you just kind of show up and follow your heart and stop trying to direct where you're going to go, using your heart to tell you what you want, what's the right thing to do, what should you wait for, what should you jump at. It's not something that I would ordinarily have trusted a lot. I would obsess and think about things over and over, and I don't think that's a bad idea. I think you should weigh the pros and cons of any particular decision, as I've talked about in the past. That there is no such thing as a right decision. There's just the decision you make by being honest about the information you have at the time. And we don't know that it's a right decision, or don't call it the right decision until afterwards, and let's say things have worked out well. If they haven't worked out well, then we say, gee, that was the wrong decision. No, it wasn't. It was a decision that you made that you couldn't possibly know what was going to happen next. And a lot of that has happened to me, where I've made some decisions and just been willing to go to the next step and then see what's there and make a decision based on that, and then go to the next step from there. It's a very different kind of approach to life that I'm really, really excited about, because it's allowed me to become much more tolerant of my own and other people's mistakes, shortcomings, weaknesses, if you want to call them that, because we're all just, quite honestly, we're all just doing the best we can. And it's okay to want to improve yourself, but not if you're coming from a place of not liking yourself to begin with. You have to feel sort of good enough in order to successfully move forward, I think. If you don't feel good enough, then either self-doubt will hold you back, or you'll be making poor decisions because they're coming out of a need to be rescued, or a need to be wrong, or something tied up with your feelings about yourself. So I guess as a way to make that into a suggestion, if you would like your life to go in a different direction, and you have a sense that you do not like yourself, that you're very self-critical, you're very afraid of looking foolish or making mistakes, you always blame yourself when things go wrong, you have a lot of guilt, you feel responsible for other people's feelings or happiness, I would say if you have those issues, put your goals aside for the future and start working on yourself. Start dealing with yourself. Well, how do we do that? Okay, I'll just use myself as an example. About 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, let's say, how would I describe it? Well, I was recovering from a very disturbing breakup. Some of you might have seen me talk about it in the Broken Heart Club. Sorry, Rosie was acting up over there. The Broken Heart Club, when the guy I was dating just suddenly moved away and never told me, and consequently to that, or subsequently to that, I found out that I was one of many people that he had been dating, and that he never had really any serious intention towards me. So at first, of course, I was devastated, And it really threw, and I'm embarrassed, sort of, not really embarrassed, but amused to say I spent some time continuing to chase after him and to see him, trying to resurrect that relationship, even though that I knew that it was, I don't even know what I knew it was, but I knew it wasn't what I wanted it to be. But anyway, that breakup led me to, and I won't even say I sat down and said, I need to figure out why I don't like myself, or I need to figure out why I keep picking men who can't really be there for me, or something like that. I just sort of shifted into, I need to do some things for myself, by myself. I, I need to get away, maybe would be a short way of putting it. Anyway, I started to attend personal growth retreats, and some personal growth workshops of different types. Integrative holotropic breath work is one of them. It's a kind of a well, I won't even go into what it is, but it's an experiential kind of workshop where you explore your unconscious mind. I went to these two personal growth retreats for a week long each in Montana, that were designed. One of them was primarily deep dream analysis in a group setting, in gorgeous mountains in Montana with horseback riding every day. It was fabulous. But as a result of that, I met some people. I started to feel better about myself, first of all. I started to feel more like I can make choices. I want to make decisions in my life about what I do next. I don't want to necessarily follow my usual pattern and just find a man and just build my life around him. So that was kind of crucial. And then as a result of attending those personal growth retreats, I met some people that helped to introduce me to an entirely new world of equine. It's called equine facilitated growth and learning, and equine facilitated psychotherapy, which means using horses as a kind of co-therapist in working with human patients or human issues. And if you've never heard of it, it probably sounds ridiculous, but it was mind-boggling to me to learn about it. And that led me to the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And those steps have led me at this point to, I have bought a what I call a tiny ranch in the hill country west of San Antonio, 10 acres. I have acquired a herd of 8 wonderful Arabian horses. I have gotten myself, I want to show you this, my tattoo. Oops, there's my bra. Look at my tattoo. This was my 70th birthday present to myself. As a kind of, and I wanted it right there. Number one, so I could show it to people. Kind of like this little teaser sticking out there. And number two, because it's my heart. I look at it every day and I see it, and it reminds me of how excited I am about this new path in my life that is continuing to unfold. And from one day to the next, I can't even tell you what's going to happen. I've learned to stop setting specific goals and more think in terms of what do I want to move forward with? A kind of a much more open-ended, but there's movement involved, as opposed to, let's say, setting a goal of, like we do with resolutions or something. I've got to eat healthier, or in 6 months I want to be here, or I want to be doing this. I find that for a lot of people, that just leads to resistance and kind of guilt. You don't end up doing it each day. You're saying, well, did I do anything towards my goal today? And it leads you to devalue the things you are doing or might be doing that are part of building yourself as the architect of your experience. You know, if you spend 2 hours visiting with a person about seemingly unrelated things, but you're deepening your understanding of that person, or some of the insights they might have into life, or just sharing a connection with them. That's valuable time. That isn't time where you should be thinking, gee, I should be working on my goal right now. I should be, at the gym or something, as opposed to living my life. I'm living my life, and this right now is a valuable piece of my life, and I'm going to fully commit myself to it. So that would really be the message, or the takeaway that I would give you today would be, don't worry about where you're going to end up. Focus on and experience where you are and what your heart may be telling you about what you want and need. And instead of hearing it say, like, let's say it says, I want a partner, I want a man in my life, I want a boyfriend, I want somebody to love me. Okay, your heart may be saying that, but the response could very well be, again, if you've worked out the part of you, or worked on, or faced the part of you that may not like who you aren't going to find somebody to love you if you don't love yourself. But that's sort of common knowledge. I don't think people really know what that actually means. But I want to have a partner in my life. Well, what is your life? Do you have a life? Get out and create a life, and people will enter it. People will show up in your life, but they won't show up in your life if you are depressed, or if you never go anywhere because you don't want to go by yourself. If you don't want to go to a meetup group and meet new people because you are afraid of going by yourself, or you feel, what if you don't like it, or all the other ways that we convince ourselves to stay in our little box, rather than just risking what? The unknown? I guess that's what it would be. Risk. I still do it myself, and I see it and I kind of laugh. I find it amusing, but I don't beat myself up for it, because I'm, kind of affectionate to myself now that I realize it's okay for me to just be a human being, but worrying about how I look, or worrying about what someone thought about something I said, I still do it, but it bothers me much less deeply, and for less of a long period, because I just know that's what humans do. We worry about stupid stuff like that. So I feel that for a minute, and then I kind of go ahead. Allowing yourself to feel the experience of risk, and realizing that everything is a risk. If you're really showing up, it can be a risk to the fact that it might be uncomfortable. It might be painful. It might make you sad. It might make you feel lonely. I don't know. There's lots of risk involved, but it also might allow for the possibility of feeling a lot of other things besides those things that you would never feel if you stayed home to avoid the risk of that first group of things. Be uncomfortable. Let yourself risk not knowing the answer, risk not knowing how you're going to feel. I don't want to go because I might feel awkward. Okay, and what exactly is wrong with feeling awkward? Chances are you feel awkward for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to feel something else, maybe less than 5 minutes. I don't know, but we pick the reason that makes a lot of sense. And it's usually, I might feel uncomfortable, and then that's our reason for not taking any chances or doing anything. So I would say, if there's going to be a way that you approach your life this year, it would be uncomfortable, It won't really hurt you as much as you think. It might open your eyes to some new things. And whatever it does, the feelings will come and go, and then something else is going to happen. So it's not going to be that huge of a deal. It will add to your experience, help you to learn something, and move you forward to whatever the next step is going to be. And that's all life is about, is, I don't know, is sucking in all the experience, having all the experience you can, and seeing where you go next. It's just so way cool, and I'm very happy to share that with you. And hopefully, I'll be back with some other ideas and certainly some other things to watch. If you check my channel, you can see a couple of little videos of a couple of my horses. I'm going to try to put some more up there, and some of them, I'm trying to find homes for some of them as well, because I ended up with too many to really devote a lot of time to. But that's part of my new business that I'm going into. It's called, relates to my tattoo. My new business is called Wild Hearts Unlimited. And it's a horse rescue, but it's going to be other things too as well. Personal growth, probably. It's an umbrella title for many different possibilities of what I'm going to do, but the horse rescue is definitely the first step, because that's kind of what I did. I don't know. Let me hear from you. I would love to hear from people as to topics they might like me to talk about, because as you can tell, being focused is not my strong suit, at least not in these things. I just tend to kind of just hold forth. But if there's ever anything you want me to talk about, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know. And check back here for future episodes of Cruisin' with Susan. I intend to be doing a lot of cruising this year. 2018 is going to be a huge year for me, because it will include my retiring from an office-based practice and shifting into who knows what, as far as how I'm going to be working with people and animals in the future. But you'll be the first to know. Okay, so as always, live well, laugh often, love much, and I will see you soon on Cruisin' with Susan. Bye now. It didn't work, by the way.